There's this paradox in life that I've been noticing lately. It has to do with the want to try as hard as I possibly can because the things that I'm doing mean so much to me. But as a result of everything mattering so much to me and trying so hard on them, I feel like I can't enjoy them because the thing is so serious. If I'm not trying my best at it, and I notice that while I'm doing it, I force myself to try harder. Um, for example, as I continue on my pilot license journey, trying to learn how to fly a plane, every time you learn a new concept or practicing something or it doesn't quite go according to plan, I get upset. I get frustrated because I need it to go well. Because it's not just that I'm learning that skill. It's that learning that skill, getting that license or rating, is the ticket to my future. It's the ticket away from the job that I hate. It's the ticket out of the city where I live. It's the ticket to a new life that I daydream about every day, right? And when I'm sitting in that cockpit and I'm practicing something, a steep turn or something, and I'm not right on the ball, it's like, man, I need to be right on the ball so I can pass that flight test and move on with my life. So, for example, there's a big thing that happened recently. I've been attending this flight school for a month and a half, working on my multi-engine rating, right? Um, I had the multi-engine flight test on Thursday of last week. Today's Saturday. And it was bad. It was bad. And it's bad for a lot of reasons. Number one is I need to take responsibility for my own actions and not setting higher standards for myself. I was deluded to think that I could pass the flight test with those standards. Okay? But who helped me set those standards? Well, my instructor. And my instructor is really not very good in comparison to other instructors that I've had. And I feel that this school has set me up for failure. Anyways, some things that happened during the flight test, I couldn't explain the mechanical system of a constant speed prop. I, what did I do? Didn't follow the checklist starting the second engine. I, didn't use the checklist for one of the emergencies that I should have. Then when I was flying the circuit, this was like the first time that I've flown the circuit without the instructor telling me exactly what to do. What the fuck? So stupid. Anyways, flew the circuit kind of okay. Wasn't the best. Came in for a landing. The approach to landing was fine. Like, it was safe, but it was not perfect. And then I landed. Landing was fine. And I applied the brakes. I applied the brakes a little bit too hard. And the tires locked up. I felt it. I released brake pressure slightly. and then I put more brake pressure in an attempt to stop, and the tire blew up on the runway, and the plane pulled really hard to the left, and we came to a stop on the runway. Engine still running, no fire, no danger, no prop strike, nothing. But in that moment, I was frazzled. You could say I was frazzled. Um, yeah, I was just in disbelief, really. I didn't really realize that I had locked up the tires as much as I did, because that landing and that landing roll didn't really feel all that different from other ones that I had done recently. Anyways, it just means that I need more practice. So how can my flight instructor at this school be throwing me into the flight test? 6 hours on this plane, by the way. Flight test. If that tire didn't blow, I may have passed. But that's fucking dumb. That's fucking dumb. So I failed the flight test. I failed. I failed. I don't fail very often. Especially not at things like this that are important to me. But, so what to do next? Well, this was 2 days ago now. I thought about it a lot that night after the flight test, and I decided that this school is not setting me up for success. I feel they're just trying to get me through the thing. And I don't trust them to give me the best education that I could get. So I'm going to go back to the other school. Now, unfortunately, I've already spent 6.5 hours flying this plane at $700 an hour. You can do the math. It's like $5,000. That will kind of go to waste now. $5,000. $5,000. That is not nothing, man. That's like that's like 3 weeks of pay. Fuck. So now I gotta go to the other school, but the other school has a wait list. They said they can't get me into their multi-IFR program until September. Oh, and let me tell you the other thing about that other school. The one with the one that I'm describing as shitty. It took me a month and a half to do 6 hours. Because the plane was down for 2 weeks. Because they were waiting on a part to fix something. 2 weeks. So I did all the training before that 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by. I was frustrated for that whole 2 weeks because I'm like, man, I feel like I'm really spinning my gears here, or spinning my wheels, I mean. Not to mention I was also gone for a week. So 3 weeks missing in the middle of the training. And when they do the run-up for the engines on the plane, they skip it like more than half the time because it's like, oh, the engine's warm, you don't have to do a run-up. Yeah, well, the test examiner is watching you do the run-up. You need the practice. Sorry, my headset shut off. So, I'm really frustrated by a lot of things at that school. I feel like I've wasted a month and a half and $5,000. Um, and now I'm not going to make the timeline that I wanted, the timeline that I was communicating to everyone, the timeline that was going to get me out of this job and onto my dreams. It has to all be postponed. Fuck! It's an incredibly frustrating thing, because that's a very difficult lesson to learn, when it's not really my fault. It's not really. Not really. Like, the school's just ass, man. It's just terrible. Shitty fucking school. I realize now that I could have told them, hey, no, I'm not ready for the test. You know, let's do some more lessons. Let me fly the plane without you telling me how to fly it. I think that would have been a lot better, but I didn't do that. And now I'm paying the consequences. So this is a lesson to learn for me. A lesson that I didn't even know had to be learned. So I guess I could try to treat this as like, wow, I learned this. That, you know, it's a large price to pay. Delaying my dreams by potentially 6 months to a year, wasting $5,000, and having a failed flight test on my record and in my mind. Just because I didn't, like, realize that I needed to take the initiative in the school, I guess. Anyways, I'm really quite frustrated. But I went and spoke with the other school. They're going to get me in September. In the meantime, I am going to work on my commercial pilot's license, because I have the rest of July and all of August to do that. Also, in 1 month, I have a written exam, the IATRA, which is the multi-crew rating. Has to be done. I have to do a float rating, and yeah, man, I'll just keep pushing. But the thing is that I was told that there's a job opportunity in and around September, October, and I don't think I'm gonna meet that now. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think there's enough time to do everything that I need to do after I've wasted the past month and a half. If I had that month and a half back, I think I would have, you know, if I could do it over, I would go to this other school that I'm describing, even though it's 30% more expensive and the timeline sucks and they're not very flexible with the scheduling. That's why I went with the shittier school, by the way, for the scheduling purposes, because I'm doing all this around my full-time job. Somehow it's all going to work out, but I may not be able to go get that job until spring now, because that's the next hiring. I think they hire around September, October, which I'm not going to make. And then they also hire in the spring. So I think I need to wait to the spring, but the problem with that, we've got some massive projects at work that I have to oversee and do. We've got to install a big robotic packaging line for a very demanding customer here in BC, and then another one out in Saskatoon. I'm going to be busting my ass for 3 weeks each of those projects. In some ways I could say, well, you know, I get to do that. You know, I have this unique skill set and I get to use it. It's kind of cool. But I really wish this wasn't the case. I'm coming to all these realizations literally like right now, yesterday and today. and I know I have the perseverance to get through it. Uh, there's no other option. But working and this working and studying grind, and knowing that my life right now is temporary until I move, uh, it's it's grueling. It's so challenging. It's like every minute of every day needs to be lined up to fit everything into the freaking day. I've got checklists sitting on my desk. You know, here's all the things that I need to do. I find right now I have very little patience for anything else. I find my enjoyment for life is zero. And that's that paradox that I was talking about. I care so much about the things that I'm doing right now. I'm putting everything that I have into them. But because of that, I'm not enjoying them. And I wish that weren't the case, but I don't know. I don't know how to change that.